Chapter 389 Feeding the Snake His Pills. Wang Xiaojun led the way as he and Lingling ventured deeper through the forest close to West Fortress. "Are you sure that he has not betrayed you?" asked Lingling in a serious voice. "I'm not so sure, to be honest, but he did respond to my call the other day. I can summon him with this flute." Wang Xiaojun took out a small flute. He placed the flute at the side of his mouth and started playing a tone. The sound was similar to blowing a whistle with a leaf. Although it was fairly sharp, it sounded quite pleasant. Furthermore, it was able to cover a great distance in the forest. The sound of the flute echoed through the woods. Lingling raised her head to check her surroundings, but could not discover any sign of the gray eagle. Wang Xiaojun continued to play the flute. After a long time, the only response he could hear was the bugs nearby. He lowered the flute with a slight disappointment and said, "Maybe I've thought too simply about the situation. Even heavenly eagles with a proper lineage could not resist the presence of the ruler-level creature, let alone a mixed breed, which is supposed to have a weaker resistance." Lingling comforted. "Why don't you try it again? Maybe he's far away from here." Wang Xiaojun glanced into the distance and raised the flute again. As he was about to blow it, a sharp cry was heard from the trees. The cry was quite pleasant, and Wang Xiaojun was extremely familiar with it. It was the sound of the gray eagle he had raised from a chick. Every heavenly eagle of West Fortress had been cruelly executed, while his impure lineage had saved his life. To Wang Xiaojun's surprise, the gray eagle was still very responsive to him. He rapidly flew over to him and landed, before fondling him with his head. He had not turned against them. He was still the same as always. Wang Xiaojun hugged the gray eagle excitedly. He patted his head and said, "Do you know, we're about to do something incredible. We've been looked down upon and mistreated by the others in the army. If we manage to accomplish this mission, the people of West Fortress would have a different view of us. Isn't this the moment we've always been waiting for?" The gray eagle cried out excitedly, as if he could understand Wang Xiaojun's words. "The mission is very dangerous. If anything goes wrong, both of us will end up dead. I'm very scared, too, but I don't just want to be someone that cooked rice in the army. I want to contribute. Gray Eagle, only you can help me now," said Wang Xiaojun sincerely, looking at the eagle. The gray eagle remained silent, and fully extended his wings, as if he were trying to tell Wang Xiaojun that they were going to move out right away. "All right, let's go." Wang Xiaojun leapt onto the eagle's back. After stabilizing himself, he said to Lingling, "Wait for me here. I'll send the red falcon herbs to the fortress straight away after I've retrieved them. I'll guide you to a relatively safe path, but I can't guarantee your safety. Remember, if you found yourself in any kind of trouble, don't force it. You can't handle the white magic falcons on your own," Lingling said to Wang Xiaojun sternly. Wang Xiaojun smiled. He performed a rather bad salute to Lingling and patted the eagle's neck. The creature sprang into the sky and vanished from the woods a few seconds later. Lingling raised her head, watching the brave young man and the mistreated gray eagle fly into the distance. No one expected that the fate of Hangzhou City would lie on the shoulders of a 17-year-old. Oh, she forgot that she was 17, too. Got it. Let's hope he and the eagle will return safely. Mo Fan hung up the call. He looked to the west and saw the white clouds of feathered wings getting closer to the city. They seemed to be floating right above the fortress, and from the city, the people could see the explosions of destructive spells blossoming like fireworks in the dark. The magicians of Hangzhou City were in the middle of a bloodbath. Hopefully, they could last until Wang Xiaojun's return with the red falcon herbs. Otherwise, there would be significantly more casualties soon. None of it was within Mo Fan's control. His focus now was helping the black totem snake out. The batch of blood serums that contained the diseased blood was being transported to West Lake. There was plenty of them, thus taking a truckload of the blood serums would not make any difference. Besides, it was obvious that the blood serums were not ideal for humans, so they were perfect for the black totem snake. It took quite some time just to move the blood serums. They finally arrived at Su Causeway around midnight. When Mo Fan saw the black totem snake did not seem to be waking up, he quickly jumped onto his head. The blood serums were fairly small, thus it was quite impossible for the black totem snake to consume them himself. Mo Fan had no choice but to push the blood serums into the black totem snake's mouth through the gaps of his teeth. Although the blood serums were tiny enough to be inserted into the black totem snake's mouth through the gap between his teeth, a fairly high-quality blood serum was enough to produce 10 times the amount of blood a human had. If the black totem snake were to consume the entire truck of blood serums, he should at least recover 2 or 3 blocks of his HP bar, right? The blood serums were continuously fed to the black totem snake. Mo Fan had no idea how much the blood serums that he had fed to the black totem snake were worth. He soon almost finished feeding the entire truck of blood serums to the beast. The blood serums were very effective for a totem beast, too. It was obvious that the black totem snake's aura was starting to recover. As Mo Fan fed the black totem snake the last box of the blood serums, the snake's eyes suddenly sprang open. The shocking eyes were staring at the tiny Mo Fan, who was standing on his head. Mo Fan stumbled and almost fell into the lake. The black totem snake uttered a deep voice. Mo Fan's face immediately turned pale. He slowly turned around and asked Tang Yue, who was standing on the causeway, What is he saying? Tang Yue giggled and said to Mo Fan with squinted eyes, He's asking if you have any more. He's also thanking you. Instead of destroying the blood serums, it was better to give them to the black totem snake so he could recover. Mo Fan gave Leng Qing another call and asked her to send another truckload of the blood serums. The black totem snake let out another cry. Before Mo Fan could ask, Tang Yue translated with a smile, The big guy says they are quite delicious. He likes them very much. Mo Fan could feel his lips twitching. If anything, these blood serums were like illegally recycled waste cooking oil. He had never seen anyone enjoying himself so much eating illegally recycled cooking oil. Chapter 390 Retrieving the Antidote in Danger. Look out to your north. A group of strong white magic falcons is flying in your direction. You should withdraw your presence at once. Don't let them pick up your scent. Alright, I can't talk for long, as it would expose your existence, too. Once you're clear, send me a signal, Lingling's voice said. Wang Xiaojun immediately glanced to his north. A huge group of white magic falcons was circling the mountains, patrolling their territory. The sharp cries sent chills down Wang Xiaojun's spine. Wang Xiaojun held his breath and pinched a small orb in his right hand into pieces. It was a concealment pill commonly used in the military to suppress their scent, making it impossible for the demon beasts to pick them up beyond a certain distance. Wang Xiaojun and his eagle hid under the shrubs and waited patiently while the white magic falcons flew by above them. After a while, Wang Xiaojun was just about to proceed to his destination when he recalled an old soldier in the army once mentioning that the white magic falcons always patrolled their territory in a loop. In other words, they would pass by the same place twice before moving on to the next spot. It was the main reason why other species had trouble residing in their territory, as the birds were extremely cautious about guarding their territory. Wang Xiaojun held his urge back and waited patiently. As he expected, several white magic falcons flew past their spot from another direction. If he had decided to move just then, his location would have been compromised. After avoiding the patrol, Wang Xiaojun mounted the gray eagle and continued with his journey. Wang Xiaojun followed his memory to find the spot where he found the red falcon herbs, passing several mountains along the way. It should be somewhere here. I hope I don't stumble into any white magic falcons with a higher lineage, murmured Wang Xiaojun. A white magic falcon with a higher lineage would easily identify the gray eagle's lineage. The eagle could mix in among the white magic falcons, but he would never escape the eyes of warrior-level or commander-level creatures. Wang Xiaojun soon found himself in a familiar environment. He glanced at the slope covered with blazing red plants like flames. The slope was rather steep, with a few white magic falcons having a fight nearby. Wang Xiaojun carefully flew to the slope, hiding inside his eagle's gray feathers. The white magic falcons noticed the gray eagle, but they completely ignored him after realizing that he was the same species as them. Wang Xiaojun directed the gray eagle to a spot further away from the white magic falcons. He leapt down from the eagle's back. He used the eagle's body as cover as he retrieved the red falcon herbs. Over 10,000 people were affected by the plague, thus they would need quite a number of the red falcon herbs. The military had already given him a storage bracelet that could hold lots of stuff. Wang Xiaojun planned to try his best to fill up the space with the red falcon herbs. He quickly uprooted the herbs, which had thorns like roses on their stems. He had forgotten to bring a pair of gloves. His hands were covered in wounds and bruises after pulling the herbs out from the ground. He clenched his teeth when he felt the pain, but he could not afford to stop. Countless lives were currently on his shoulders. Blood was dripping down. Its scent soon drifted on the wind and spread toward the white magic falcons nearby. They immediately turned around and approached him. "Crap, they found me." "No, they only smelled the blood on my hand," mumbled Wang Xiaojun. He hid behind a rock beside him and whispered to the eagle, "Go and lure them away. Come back to me later." The eagle flapped his wings and rammed right into one of the white magic falcons furiously. The white magic falcon returned the favor. It pecked the eagle's back with its sharp beak. The gray eagle soon started a fight with the white magic falcons. The gray eagle grabbed hold of an opportunity to fly into the sky. The infuriated white magic falcons immediately followed behind him. "Well done," Wang Xiaojun mumbled in his heart. After the white magic falcons were lured away, Wang Xiaojun no longer had to keep an eye out on his surroundings. He tore his sleeves and wrapped them around his bleeding hands. He had to make use of the time to retrieve all of the red falcon herbs. Each time he tried to pull a herb out of the ground, it was the same as trying to break a thistle. Soon, the cloth wrapping around Wang Xiaojun's palms was torn apart. Wang Xiaojun could feel his tears bursting out, but he still clenched his teeth and continued to pluck the herbs at the same pace. He had no idea how many herbs he had acquired. The storage ring was almost filled up with the red falcon herbs. He heard a familiar cry. Wang Xiaojun was overjoyed. The eagle had returned at the perfect time. It was time for them to retreat. He quickly jumped onto the eagle's back. The gray eagle flapped its wings and swiftly flew in the direction of West Fortress. A while later, he could hear the screeching cries of the white magic falcons behind him. "Quick, faster. We can't let them catch up to us," Wang Xiaojun said to the gray eagle. The gray eagle flapped his wings quickly. He was well aware that his master would be in danger if the white magic falcons caught up to him. Luckily, the white magic falcons were only chasing him to pay him back for picking a fight with them. If they knew a human had intruded their territory, they would summon their comrades immediately to seal off their escape. On the gray eagle's back, Wang Xiaojun was suffering tremendous pain. His hands were covered in blood. He could no longer move his fingers, as his tendons were almost cut in half. Fortunately, he had managed to acquire lots of the red falcon herbs. All he needed to do was to be more cautious on the way back. West Lake. Mo Fan glanced at the sky in the west. The battle between the battle mages and the white magic falcons had intensified, drawing closer to Hangzhou City. Not much time was left. Luckily, he had heard from Lingling that the kid, Wang Xiaojun, was on his way back with a full load. He let out a relieved sigh when he heard the news. If Wang Xiaojun managed to get back in time with the red falcon herbs, the crisis would be resolved in no time. As for the 2 truckloads of illegally recycled cooking oil, blood serums were almost emptied by the black totem snake. He had fallen to sleep all of a sudden. The wounds on his body had festered, as if they were becoming more severe. Mo Fan had no idea if the snake would recover from the injuries. Tang Zhang had summoned Tang Yue away, leaving him guarding the snake that had once scared the shit out of him all on his own. Chapter 391 The Ambitious Councilman. Mo Fan mimicked the way Tang Yue would sit on the black totem snake's head. The friendly exchange with the black totem snake after feeding him the illegally recycled cooking oil had eased Mo Fan's fear of him. Frankly speaking, apart from his gigantic size, the big guy was fairly kind and gentle at heart. Mo Fan took a closer look at the black totem snake's body and realized that the festered skin had begun to peel off. Even the wounds that seemed rather deep were falling off. What's going on? Even the wounds can be peeled off like scars? Mo Fan was astounded. He took a stroll along the black totem snake's body for another half an hour and realized that a lot of the wounds had begun to peel off. When Mo Fan returned to the black totem snake's head, he took a glance at the snake's body and suddenly discovered that something was splitting apart on the beast's body, as if he were forming a clone. Mo Fan, what are you doing?" An adorable little loli yelled at Mo Fan. Mo Fan turned around and realized it was Lingling. He asked curiously, "Aren't you helping Wang Xiaojun with his mission?" "Why are you here?" Lingling held her tiny laptop in her hands. She responded with her eyes fixed on the screen, "I can monitor him from here, too. The snake is splitting in half. I'm rather curious. Could it be that the force of the lightning has blasted him in half?" Lingling was rather daring. She simply leapt onto the black totem snake and climbed up with her small limbs, like an overly cute monkey. As she finally reached Mo Fan's spot, she glanced down at the black totem snake's body from above and said, "What do you mean he's splitting in half? Can't you tell his skin is peeling off?" Mo Fan took a closer look and came to a realization. he said with a smile. The big snake is finally finishing up with his ectasis after the series of troubles. It shouldn't be any trouble from here onward. Tang Yue must be very happy. Yeah, if Wang Xiaojun manages to make it back safely, the crisis will be resolved, too, said Ling Ling as she continued her work on the laptop. I hope so. Ling Ling placed the laptop on her legs and suddenly asked in confusion. Why isn't he moving? Who's not moving? Wang Xiaojun. It shows that he has stopped all of a sudden. He's still on the ground. There aren't any powerful beasts nearby. He should be flying to West Fortress now. Ling Ling was suspicious. Did he stumble upon some kind of trouble? Said Mo Fan with a worried look. Mo Fan was fairly impressed by Wang Xiaojun's courage. It was incredibly rare to find someone willing to risk their lives for the greater good, not to mention that he was only 17 years old. In the forest to the west of the fortress, Wang Xiaojun flattened himself to the eagle's back while glancing ahead alertly. Above him, the sky was densely filled with the white wings of the white magic falcons. They were like a giant net spreading across the night sky. Every time he glanced up, he could see the white magic falcon's sharp claws and enormous wings, and felt his scalp turning numb. The white magic falcons were diving at their enemies relentlessly. Wang Xiaojun had never experienced a war, nor had he seen so many demon beasts at once. He was using the gray eagle as his cover, and was scared that his presence would be exposed to the terrifying demon beasts. Ironically, the being blocking his path was not the white magic falcons, but the middle-aged man with a goatee. Wang Xiaojun, isn't it? I'm Councilman Luo Mian. You've done a great job. Now, hand over the red falcon herbs. I'll bring them to the quarantine zone at once to save the people. Wang Xiaojun stared at the uninvited guest in front of him. He clearly knew that the person was Councilman Luo Mian, a famous public figure in Hangzhou. However, Wang Xiaojun did not trust him. He had learned the truth from Mo Fan and Ling Ling. He knew that the councilman was the cause of the plague. He had no idea why the councilman would be here, but he could not afford to hand over the extremely important red falcon herbs to someone like him. I will bring them to the general myself. If Councilman Luo Mian needs the red falcon herbs urgently, please escort me there. Councilman Luo Mian wore a smile. He glanced at Wang Xiaojun and said, You're asking me, a councilman, to escort a kid like you, who doesn't even have a military rank. What do you want, then? Said Wang Xiaojun. If you're smart enough, you will hand over the bracelet now. Councilman Luo Mian's smile gradually turned icy, with a hint of disdain toward the kid. Normally, Councilman Luo Mian could easily send one of his men to take the herbs from Wang Xiaojun, but considering that the white magic falcons had occupied the sky, not everyone could sneak out toward Wang Xiaojun without anyone noticing. Councilman Luo Mian was a shadow element super-level magician. No one in Hangzhou and West Fortress could possibly move freely through a battlefield where both the sky and the ground were currently in the midst of an epic battle. Although Luo Mian was rather surprised that such an insignificant kid had found the cure to the plague, he figured he should be the one who rescued Hangzhou from its grave situation, instead of a kid. Even though he already had a scapegoat for the incident, Zhu Meng no longer believed him, so it would be difficult to retain his status as a councilman. However, if he could get his hands on the red falcon herbs, he would be the savior of the entire city. Not only would Zhu Meng and the others not dare to accuse him, he could possibly even improve his status further. Anyone smart enough would be willing to try desperate solutions in desperate situations. This time, the risk only involved dealing with a kid. It could not be any simpler. What is it? Councilman Luo Mian smirked as he observed Wang Xiaojun and the young gray eagle. Are you thinking of going against me? Are you planning to snatch it away? Replied Wang Xiaojun furiously. He never thought a councilman would do something like this. Listen to me, give me the thing, and I'll spare your life. I can guarantee you a bright future. Otherwise, you will totally disappear from the world. Trust me, no one will care about your insignificant death. Councilman Luo Mian's tone was incredibly chilly. His figure was covered in a layer of darkness and death. The councilman who had always worn a gentle smile in front of the public had turned into a greedy, merciless vampire. Chapter 392 He's not worthy to be called a human. A dark, icy aura surged toward Wang Xiaojun and the gray eagle. The beast was knocked a few steps back, while Wang Xiaojun could feel his body trembling subconsciously. Councilman Luo Mian was extremely powerful. His sharp gaze was penetrating their souls like two long swords. I'll say it one last time. Hand it over, demanded Councilman Luo Mian in a firm voice. Wang Xiaojun clenched the storage bracelet tightly. He had no intention of handing it over. I forgot to mention, my secondary element is the curse element. I'm sure that you've never tasted it before. You must be grateful, as I haven't used it to kill anyone after becoming a councilman. Those who died to my curse element were a lot stronger than you. Councilman Luo Mian slowly waved his hand in Wang Xiaojun's direction. It was like his hand was trying to hide something. It was a crimson force with a hint of an evil presence. A spirit in the shape of a giant spider appeared right above Wang Xiaojun and the gray eagle, floating weirdly in the air. Its legs were connected to the same crimson strings wrapped around Councilman Luo Mian's palm. The silks surrounded Wang Xiaojun and the gray eagle out of nowhere, and began to draw in. A brief moment later, a huge crimson spiderweb became visible, like a trap that had just been set up, or had been awaiting its prey all along. The eerie spider started reeling in the silks, tightening the grip of the silks on Wang Xiaojun. Humans were the most vulnerable to the curse element. The silks not only rooted their target in place, they were like straws that would suck out a human's spiritual energy. They were drawing Wang Xiaojun's soul out at a crazy pace. How does it feel? I'm rather old, so I prefer not to commit any sinful acts. Give me the thing, and I'll immediately free you from the pain, said Councilman Luo Mian. Wang Xiaojun struggled wildly. His face had already turned purple from the great pain. He tried to say something, but his throat was clenched tightly by the red silks. Councilman Luo Mian stared at his prey. The kid seemed to be begging for mercy, but he responded with a grin. He clenched his hand into a claw, like the deadly legs of the evil spider that was going to kill its prey. Wang Xiaojun's body suddenly stiffened. His soul was already sucked dry. His face no longer had the color of blood. His stiffened body suddenly turned weak and feeble. His eyeballs rolled upward, as if he had been suffocated to death. Apart from terror and pain, his gaze was mostly filled with disbelief. How foolish! Councilman Luo Mian slowly approached Wang Xiaojun's body and snatched the bracelet from his arm. He did not cast another glance at Wang Xiaojun, whose soul had been sucked dry. He would not have bothered wasting his time on a nobody like him if he had not found the cure to the plague. He had acquired what he needed to guarantee his success. He had to make his way to the quarantine zone in the city as soon as possible. With the antidote, he could easily negotiate with the authorities of Hangzhou City. With his shadow element, Councilman Luo Mian wove through the battlefield filled with countless white magic falcons and made his way back to the city with ease, leaving the corpse of a young man and a gray eagle screeching painfully behind. Hangzhou's Westlake. Idiot! That idiot! Lingling screamed on top of the black totem snake's head. Her face was filled with hatred and anger. She had heard everything that had taken place in the woods through a special communication device. She cursed wildly, not at the vicious Councilman Luo Mian, but at the young man Wang Xiaojun. Why would he resist? Why? He was only a basic magician. Why would he bother opposing a fallen councilman? Why didn't he hand the stuff over? At least he would still be alive. While cursing, Lingling's eyes were already bloodshot. Although she felt like scolding Wang Xiaojun for being stupid, he was actually very smart. He had managed to turn on the special communication device when Councilman Luo Mian decided to kill him. Councilman Luo Mian would never expect that his violent and vicious act had been recorded, and was sent to Lingling and Mo Fan. The sinister spider trap. That's a spell that will devour one's soul. Mo Fan had a blank face. Mo Fan was extremely familiar with the sinister spider trap. The criminal he and Tong Yue hunted down in the past had the terrifying curse element, too. He had turned the 4 magicians from the Dongfang clan into empty shells without souls with the same spell. Wang Xiaojun had suffered the same fate. His cultivation was significantly weaker than the 4 magicians. There was no way he stood a chance against the intermediate curse magic. This Luo Mian was extremely cruel, to use such an evil spell on a youngster. Lingling, don't panic, maybe he. Mo Fan still had a glimpse of hope. Do you think I'm a kid? Do you think I have no idea what the curse element is? Lingling screamed furiously, that councilman, he's not worthy to be called a human. Mo Fan's heart sank. Luo Mian was the main culprit of the plague. He initially thought that there was a certain limit to how bad an evil-hearted councilman would be, but he never thought the councilman would murder Wang Xiaojun. How cruel, shameless, evil, and cold-hearted did a person need to be to do such a thing? He had started the plague, which had placed Hangzhou in such great danger. Instead of having regret, he had forced his man to be the scapegoat just so he could stay out of trouble, and even killed the person who had risked his own life to save the lives of the infected. How could he possibly kill a young man who had such a kind, pure heart? Mo Fan had thought Lu Nian was the craziest murderer he would ever know in the world, yet he had met someone who was crueler and more abhorrent than that Lu Nian, not to mention that he was a councilman of the enforcement union. He recalled how Wang Xiaojun had barged into the meeting room, his gaze determined despite the risk he would be facing. His thoughts were filled with Luo Mian's hypocritical behavior, and the disdainful laugh after he had snatched away the antidote which Wang Xiaojun had retrieved by putting his life at risk. Mo Fan immediately sensed a tremendous fury exploding within his chest. This Luo Mian, even him dying 10,000 times is not enough to repay his sin. One after another, cries were heard from the communication device. It was the Grey Eagle's voice, filled with great sorrow. Mo Fan and Ling Ling could no longer hold back their tears of sorrow after hearing them.